you fondle a child, you are fondling the essence that you are grooming as the parent of that child in order to grow up to be a proper and decent adult in a civilized society.
Now, everybody, this is Dylan Vega, a mostly unknown TikTok weirdo who I just can't get away from. For the most part, this guy seems to throw his 2 cents at everything going on in the world, along with a few weird ideologies, I might add. But not only that, as you may have noticed, this creep really likes kids, and in the most evil way.
No, rest assured I'm not on the Epstein list because Jeffrey Epstein was never my broker. Was never my connect. I never needed to go to Jeffrey Epstein. I never went to Jeffrey Epstein to pursue children. I always had other people to go to pursue children. So I just had different connects for children. And
you cannot just claim to have connects to access children like that on the internet. I'm hoping that this is some poor attempt at a joke, but with his testosterone deprived voice and looks just, they're making me believe he's telling the truth. I mean, you know what they say, if it looks like a duck, acts like a duck, and quacks like a duck, what do you think it is? But anyways, I can't be the only one who has to suffer through this guy's voice, so.
Fucking job is? You don't know what the job? You don't know what the fucking job is? It's representing an underrepresented community, okay? There's no transgender Barbie doll. There's only cisgender Barbie dolls, okay? There's no, there's a Ken doll for the cis man, and there's the Barbie doll for the cis woman, but there's no transgender Barbie doll. Why is there no a transgender Barbie doll? A Barbie doll with a penis. How come there's not a Barbie doll with a fucking penis? Tell me why there isn't a transsexual Barbie doll. Tell me why there isn't a Barbie doll with a penis. Why isn't there?
Now, I'm going to skip over a lot of his yappage in this clip, but what this grown squeaker is essentially asking, and it's clearly not just why isn't there a transgender Barbie doll, it's not about representing the trans community, it's why is there no Barbie doll with a penis? Why is there no female Barbie doll with a penis, I guess? And I don't think I should have to tell you guys why that's not an appropriate thought to have when it comes to kids' toys, but that's exactly what they are, bro. They're kids' toys. There's absolutely no need for little 5-year-old Jasmine to see that type of shit on a plastic lady or plastic man that she's using like in her dollhouse or whatever. There's no argument you could make that would have me believing that would be an okay thing to manufacture. But what about transgender women or kids, you might add? And to that I say, kids can just pretend that's what the toys are for, man. That's what they're for, to pretend. But I'm sure some of you are scratching your heads on what video could this comment be coming from to provoke him to talk about Barbie penises. Well, he gets a little sicker in the next one.
Just so you know, when I was a little kid, I used to cut the head off of my G.I. Joes just so I can glue it onto my Barbie doll's vaginas. It got the job done. It definitely got the job done.
What the fuck? Who was watching this guy as a kid or seeing his toys and not throwing him into some insano therapy sessions or an insane asylum or to fix whatever the fuck this kid had going on when he was little? But clearly there's something all fucked up in his head if he was gluing stuff onto Barbies in that manner. And I don't even want to bother alluding as to what that job was that had to be done that he's talking about, because we all saw previously what the answer to that was. It made no sense. It makes even less sense now given this context. But I think he's an uneducated creep, and someone honestly needs to take his internet access away, along with his access to children, if there's any family with kids close to him, because he is an idiot and also a child predator, clearly. But moving on.
Because when I was a little kid, probably around 3 or 4, maybe even younger too, I stabbed my larynx with a pencil. That's why I sound like...
I don't entirely believe this clip, but we get maybe another glimpse at this weirdo's backstory, and he claims to have stabbed what I believe he was trying to say was a larynx, which would make a little sense. Damaging that could probably cause like a high-pitched voice like that, but just based solely on this guy's actions and appearance, I'd say it's much more likely that he's lacking in the testosterone department. The lack of facial hair And despite being unkempt because he clearly doesn't shave, it really just sells that idea to me. But if the story is true, it just goes to show how fucked up he already was way back then, and it helps explain why he's so interesting now, I guess you could say. Moving on.
Okay, you're not gonna believe what happened to me. I decided to apply for a job at a second McDonald's. Another McDonald's at a different location, in Ridgewood. And this time I actually applied the quote-unquote proper way of doing things, the technical way of doing things. I wouldn't, get in trouble with law enforcement, since this is apparently socially acceptable in a society of contradictions, but there's no way to address those contradictions. This is a dictatorship, a private dictatorship. So anyway, I capitulated and I applied for the job the technical way. And, I thought I had to demonstrate my work ethic, okay? So I demonstrated my work ethic by showing up to the interview greasy and sweaty. I was greased up for the job at hand to show them that I'm willing to get my hands dirty, to show them I'm not willing to break a sweat. I'm actually willing to break a sweat for the company. And they turned me away, saying that I'm unfit. I'm unfit to work there, saying how I look unprofessional, I'm uncouth. That's literally what he said, that I look uncouth. What the fuck do they even mean? I'm able to walk, and I demonstrate the work with my appearance. The outcome of the work is sweat. It's hard-earned sweat. It's sweat equity. And I demonstrate that sweat equity at the interview. The interview is a time to show the manager that I have what it takes to fulfill the responsibilities of the workplace. And I was willing to demonstrate my work ethic the only way I could demonstrate my work ethic, through the physical act of perspiring. And I was perspiring. I showed up to the interview perspiring with sweat stains on my shirt. And the manager said I looked uncouth. What the fuck did uncouth even mean? What does it even mean? Uncouth. I would argue that he's the one that looked uncouth, taking a shower before work instead of after. I take a shower after work. That's the kind of work I'm used to. I don't dress up in business casual. I don't have to dress up in business casual to work and ruin my suits, ruin my dress shirts, have sweat stains on my dress shirt. This is a t-shirt, a gray t-shirt. I have sweat stains on a gray t-shirt. But that's what work is for. That's what work is for. Right industry, servicing the people. So what is it? A democracy? No. Let's bring back manufacturing jobs, heavy industry, top-down dictatorship. I'm done with this bullshit. I'm done with this fucking bullshit. What are the contradictions? This fucking society as a whole. I'm fucking done with it. Fuck it.
Now, I'm talking directly to you, Dylan. No shit. They turned you away for that. Why on earth would an employer want to hire a freak who shows up unwashed to an interview? Unwashed and greasy, I might add. It seems like this jit was sabotaging his chances at a job on purpose. That's just me, but I really feel for this poor interviewer that had to not only deal with his voice in person, but also smell whatever terrible, toxic, pungent odors were emanating from this guy. On no planet would showing up unwashed show your work ethic. If anything, it demonstrates how lazy this guy is for not wanting to put in the damn effort to make himself somewhat presentable. I mean, you were applying for a job where you would be handling food, guy. What's wrong with you? But for starters, I also believe him saying uncouth, he was attempting to say unkempt, because honestly that would be a great descriptor for him in every appearance of him, including this random interview of him I saw.
Fire and shot Krager. We spoke to a man who saw law enforcement responding to the scene.
There were like about 4 or 5 police officers and some plainclothes cops as well. They're hovering around here, and then they had red, yellow tape blocking off the ground.
Daytona police.
Now, is it just me, or does it seem like every lolcow at this point ends up on the news? Like, in my whole life, I don't think I've ever been in a place to even see a news anchor out in the wild, but these lolcows are just, for some reason, drawn to them like moths to one of those electric zappers, like Nova's French onion soup incident, or Daniel Larson's news clip on the rehab he was going through as a kid for like troubled little guys, troubled kids. But it just makes you think. I mean, like, really, why is it so common for these guys to be seen on the news? Like, I'm not sure, but anyways, I want to show my hate for this guy is completely justified. He seems to be a pretty political person, and I myself tend to not be all that political, but what even is this damn video?
No, I have an even better idea. Why don't we start a party for children called the Little Kitties Party, and the party's leader will be the fondlers of the children to groom them to be adults and represent a new society of enlightened individuals.
Why has TikTok not taken this guy down already? I mean, he's a predator, and honestly, it's only a matter of time before something comes out about him being inappropriate with a kid, because the topic of little kids just come up way too often with this guy. And keep in mind, every single video so far that I've shown you guys has not been much older than a week, depending, because he likes to repost his own videos all the time. But that's how often this freak of the worst kind has kids on his mind. This last clip, I know you guys have been waiting for this. This last clip, honestly just a threat to any kids near him. And honestly, we need more people talking about him, because he's just a straight PDF file, like completely. I don't know why more people aren't talking about him, but I'm just gonna play it for you guys.
You see, when you fondle somebody, it's an expression of love. You are showing your affection for that somebody by fondling them. You are fondling the spirit of their soul in the physical realm of their body, of their skin. So when you fondle an individual, when you fondle a child, you are fondling the essence that you are grooming as the parent of that child in order to grow up to be a proper and decent adult in a civilized society. Do you understand the purpose of fondling, the reason behind fondling? Why fondling, the act of fondling, the concept of fondling is so important. You have to fondle children. You have to fondle adults. You have to fondle animals. Anything that you love and care for, it needs to be cared for by the act of fondling. That's the only way you can care for something, is through the act of fondling in the physical realm.
Like, oh, what the actual fuck? Like, how can you get away with posting blatantly about how you believe fondling kids is the only way to get them to grow up normal? I mean, maybe it speaks to this guy's past or whatever, but I pray to whatever God, whoever's God, doesn't matter, that he never has a kid of his own or ever has access to a kid in any capacity. And honestly, this guy's existence is a pretty valid point as to why there is no God. Why does this jit exist? But I just hope maybe you guys go report his account or something, because this guy honestly just should not have access to the internet. Hopefully he never has access to kids, and I just really personally really do not like this guy. I don't like a single thing about him, and I just one more PDF file on the internet that honestly shouldn't even exist. But I can't stand watching anything else about this guy. But see ya.